exemplifies health for our friends and neighbors and even those we don't know. I want to thank Ginny Schaum and introduce Ginny, who's the chair of the Schoharie Quilt Barn Trail. We'll talk a little bit about that. Ginny brought this to our attention. She said, I've got a group of Columbia Bassett medical students who want to do a community project, and they'd like to do paint a quilt barn board for a health facility in Schoharie County. What do you think about that? I said, I want it here, so there was no debate on that. I understand Middleburg Clinic may be doing one at all, but we got first dibs. So we're really thankful for Ginny to connect us with our wonderful students, and I'd like to introduce Henna, who is the team leader, and Rachel.
Let's give her a hand.
Our artist, and the other students on the team, Brandon Garcia, Jonas Suflock, Peter Young, Marcos Lopez, Daniel Host-Mary, and Rachel Criswell.
You did great.
Just a little history. The Quilt Barn Trail emerged as a project following the flooding in August of 2011 as a way to re-stimulate tourist business for Schoharie County. And Ginny, in a couple of minutes, maybe you can talk a little bit more about the trail. It's really blossomed, and you know, it started as barn focused, really has spread, and I don't know if we're the first healthcare facility to have one, but we won't be the last. The medical students, as part of their humanities curriculum, needed a community service project, and it was your idea to do one of these, and we're very, very happy about this because it's beautiful and linked up with Ginny, I guess, somewhat on the story out here, and here we are. The name of this quilt block is Growing Wellness. The students named that, and that's a theme that really strongly represents the national trend in healthcare towards population health, so it's very fitting. And we're very pleased to have this representation that supports wellness in our community here, and I think that when you see it, you'll agree it really is quite magnificent, and I think it really helps to make the hospital even more part of the community. I think you'll be happy with it. Ginny, a couple words?
Well, first of all, I want to thank everybody for coming out. This is totally awesome. Give yourselves a hand. Through the rain, who would have guessed that we'd be able to have clear enough skies to do this as we had in mind. The original block idea came from a woman in Ohio who worked with the Arts Council there in Ohio, and her name is Donna Sue Groves. And what happened was that as a child, she was in such a rural area in Kentucky and in West Virginia that they couldn't even play the license plate game like we can play around here. So her parents devised this game that they would identify barns, and then they would get points and things, whether there were animals with it or, you know, hay wagons and so forth. So Donna Sue really grew to have an appreciation for the architecture of farms. And of course, we all know there are tobacco barns, and there are hay barns, and there are milk barns, and there are hay storage barns, and chicken coops, and so forth and so on. So much to her chagrin, her parents moved to Ohio on a piece of property that had the ugliest barn in the world, according to her. This is not from me. And her mother was a master quilter. So she said, one day I'm going to paint one of your quilt blocks on the barn to make it look more attractive. Well, as many things happen with this tiny little seed of inspiration that she had and the love and devotion of her mother, the idea of having literally a clothesline across the country of quilt blocks And now there are over 5,000 quilt blocks in, I think, all of the states and 2 provinces of Canada. And that's just in about 13 years. And we're very, very proud of ourselves here because we started out literally to help bring tourism back into Schoharie County, to say, you know, yes, there was a flood, yes, there was damage, but we have businesses and we're alive and doing well. So with Sharon and 3 other committee members, we started this project. And when we first said we were going to do 20 quilt blocks in 1 year, you could see the people saying, that's never going to happen. Well, because the community is so action-oriented and so prideful of Schoharie County, indeed, we did get 20 people by the first year to put quilt blocks up. And then, to us, we got a little nervous because we had another 20 in queue. And we said, I don't know how we're going to do this. Because some people do literally paint their own quilt blocks, but some of them like to hand over $300 and say, would you please do this for us? So we did contact Benjamin Moore Paint Company, and we told them the dilemma that we were in with all of these quilt blocks in line. And they were kind enough to donate all of the primer and all of the paint for the first 20 blocks that we did. So that was a huge boon to us. The process really is not complicated. You know, we do have some steps that people follow through. And indeed, we're not just putting them on barns, we're putting them on like the healthcare center and almost any place that people can put them. They have to be visible from public access. It is an interesting story how I met Henna and the other people on her team. Again, because we are a community-oriented county, the Maple festivals are a big deal. And so the interns had come from Cooperstown to have breakfast at one of the farms, to have the pancakes and the syrup and all the good things that go with it. And my husband and Bill Morton and Bonnie Morton, who are responsible for the wildflower project in Middleburg and also for the murals in Middleburg, were with us. And somebody mentioned that they had seen the blocks, and from that, again, little seed of discussion, we found out that Henna needed to have a project, and she was just very enthusiastic about doing a quilt block. So I have to say, Henna designed this. She worked on the computer program. She worked really, really hard on it for, you know, all the other responsibilities that she has. She presented it to her team. She presented it to this team, and finally came up with this absolutely beautiful design. And then they came in from Cooperstown and worked in a little building just the other side of the hospital here, and I think did one fantastic job of design and execution. So I'm so proud of them. They did a great job.
Sure. So I think Ginny and Eric both mentioned that we have this humanities curriculum where we focus on becoming native to place and really integrating with the community. And this was a great way to do that. It was wonderful to meet Ginny and meet up with the whole Quilt Barn Trail committee and work with them. And the 10 of us all had a great time working on this quilt block.
Okay, without further ado, Russ, it's up to you. Right up, the drummer couldn't show, so
Yeah, I think
well, thanks everybody. Admire the view.